Hi everyone, this is Alma coming to you from Long Beach, California. Today is July 1st, Friday, July 1st of the year 2022, and this is part 2 of my WIP parade that I like to do every 6 months. So if you haven't already, I invite you to go ahead and watch part 1. I'm pretty much doing all of these in chronological order, so this is the second half of the WIPs that I have so far. Or my active WIPs, as some people like to say, even though I don't necessarily have WIPs that are, like on timeout or anything like that. I just call them all my WIPs. Anyway, there's quite a bit left to show still, so let's just get to it, shall we? And right now we're at July of 2020, so we're just about 2 years ago. The first WIP that I started, or the first WIP that I have to show you is one of my Heaven and Earth Designs charts. This is T by Anna Dittman, featuring the also handsome Benedict Cumberbatch. I know some people don't like him, but I do. So this is Benedict Cumberbatch as Sherlock Holmes. And this is being done on 18 count Aida, white Aida, which is my go-to fabric for a lot of my full coverage pieces. These Anna Dittman designs are a little larger. I started this one and also the June and July pieces, and that kind of gave me a little bit of a wake-up call. Like, okay, these are a lot. These designs are getting really large, so that's why I started experimenting with the 25 count Easy Guide fabric. But this is one of the last ones that I started doing on 18 count before I took that jump. And this is all I have left, or this is what I have done so far. I am sitting at 2,276. I don't think I think maybe I added like 10 stitches one day. I put it in my Q-snap. I wanted to stitch on it, and then for whatever reason, I just didn't. So he's still sitting pretty much the same. This is the wristband for his watch right here. So this will eventually be the watch face, and this is the band right here. So this is his hand. So it's cool. I mean, it's exciting to know that at least the image is coming in. It's not like some of my other pieces where I have to work on a lot of background before I get to the focus of the piece. So at least this one, it starts pretty much immediately. So that was on July 1st. And then the next one that I have to show you, I actually started on my actual birthday, which is coming up on the 13th. And I started it for my twin, because again, if it's my birthday, it's also her birthday. And this is The Eternal Promise by Matt Stewart. Another one of my hates. He does a lot of Lord of the Rings inspired art. He has some charts for Gandalf. He has some Galadriel pieces there. The Galadriel piece is actually one of the first ones that I ever saw from him. I remember thinking it was like really, really pretty. But my sister is a huge fan of Aragorn and Arwen, so I knew I had this. I let her choose. I told her I was willing to choose or to stitch a full coverage piece for her, and she could choose. But I gave her some pointers. I was like, these are some of the ones that I think you'll like, and that was one of them, and for sure she went for that one. So this is what we're at so far. This has gotten quite a bit of work done since the last time I showed it to you, because again, it's one of my larger pieces, so it needs a lot of work. The last time I showed it to you is at 14,300 stitches, and I'm now sitting at 23,759 stitches. So about 9,500 stitches since the last time I showed it to you. I'm sitting at 5%, I think. Yeah, pretty sure, because I remember thinking I was on track to get to 10% by the end of the year. So if I do, I think I said that I wanted to do 1,000 stitches, at least 1,000 stitches each week on this one. So originally I wanted to do the border first, the flower border. I eventually got bored of that and started working on the forest. But then I got bored of that and went back to the border. So I'm just alternating between the two. But yeah, I'm doing this on a 25 count easy guide fabric. This is pretty much the reason why I made the jump to 25 count is because it's such a massive piece. I knew I couldn't do it on 18. I mean, you could, but you know, it would be huge. I didn't want that. So I thought, okay, might as well make the jump. So pretty happy with how it's turning out though. Very excited. So again, hopefully I'll be able to keep up with that 1,000 stitch count per week. And then, you know, it's our birthday, so that was her birthday start, and then I had a birthday start for myself. I had plenty of these are all pretty much birthday starts. I started a lot of pieces in July, but on the same day, on the 13th of 2020, July 13th, 2020, I started my first Mirabilia. This is Portrait of Veronica by Nora Corbett. And I am stitching this on a hand-dyed fabric by Youthful Hands Sunny Dyes. This is actually, the shop is actually out of business now. It went, I think back in December or November, they shut down. But this is what I have so far. I kept working on the black for the most part. I did add some of the ribbons here. I think I've added maybe 300 stitches or so since the last time I showed it to you. Not too much progress to show, but I do want to make it a focus piece or a priority piece for the remainder of the year. Now that Midnight Stroll is being close to finished, pretty much finished. It's gonna get finished within the next 2 days, to be honest. Part of me was like, maybe I should just wait to film the parade until then, but I just didn't. I just wanted to get the parade over with. So now I can actually go back to my other WIPs and give them the love they deserve, because the Midnight Stroll has just taken up a lot of my time. And this is called Fairy Meadow. So I told you where it came from. This is called Fairy Meadow. It's a 32 count Lugana. So I thought it went well with the colors of the piece. I thought that I made sure to orient it in such a way that the teals were at the top and the off-white was at the bottom, so that those accents could come through a little better. And yeah, I'm using all the called for threads, the Kreinik, the beads. The Kreinik I might switch to petite treasure braids. I'm not sure. I've never worked with Kreinik. I've heard it's a nightmare though, so we'll have to see. And Vicky from Reading and Stitching Magical Stitches, she actually started this with me as well. I think she only added maybe 200 stitches on it though, to start it with me, and then that was it. The next piece that I started was actually gifted to me by Candace, who's also here. Well, she used to be here on FlossTube, Slut Lover Stitches, and she hasn't put up a video in quite some time though. I'm not sure what happened to her channel. Anyway, she knows I love Tim Burton, so she gifted me this chart for my birthday. This is Till Death Do Us Part from Tilton Crafts, and the artwork is by Daniel Kordick. Again, all the Kordick pieces. And this one has gotten some love. Last time I showed it to you, it was at 8,900 stitches, and I'm now sitting at 10,563 stitches. So this is where we're at. I added a whopping 1,600 stitches since last time I showed it to you. I did keep going a little bit on his face, But for the most part, I do use this piece when I'm bored, or not when I'm bored, but when I don't want to have to bother looking at the pattern, and I can just, you know, pop on a movie or something. So yeah, so a lot of the work has gone onto the background. But I do want to finish at least this corner first, so I think I'm going page by page or something like that. So yeah, so I'll eventually go back down here and start filling in those spaces as well. Because yeah, that's a lot of background. It's a lot of black. I'm working on this again, 18 count white Aida. Go to fabric. And that was started on the 16th of July. I'm not sure if I said that, but that same day I also started another piece. This is the three things sampler from Moira Blackburn. I saw this on Laurel Ann's FlossTube channel. Lauren is one of my friends, and she's actually local. She lives about a 20-minute ride from here. So the 16th is her birthday, so she had a birthday sale going where you could either start the same chart that she was going to start, but I decided to start this instead. Because again, I saw it on her channel, I adored it. The message says, 3 things there are that will never come back. The arrow shot forth on its destined track, the appointed hour that could not wait, and the helpful word that was spoken too late. So this is the first sampler I've ever started, and I am stitching this on 14 count cappuccino froth from Fiona's Craft Cottage. And this is where we're at. I think I've added maybe 400 stitches to this since I showed it to you last. I still kept working on this top section. Yeah, I finished, I don't know if I had started it in my last video, but I know that I worked on this flower, and I kept going on this, the stem, and a little bit on the border as well. So not too much progress to show. I still have high hopes of finishing that entire section all the way to the side before the end of the year. So it's gonna take quite some time, quite some amount of stitching, but I feel like I can do it. Again, my schedule is free. Not that I'm working, not that I'm done working on the fairy. Next start that I had is another one of my Chilton Crafts charts. This is by Nathan Smith, and it's called Fractal Energy. And this one was on hold until I finished Hogwarts Castle, because again there was a lot of block colors, the blues and the blacks as well. So I thought, okay, I can only handle working on, you know, one piece with a lot of black at a time. And I already have Till Death Do Us Part with the black border. So this is where we're at. Not too much progress to show. I did add 1,900 stitches to this. I'm currently sitting at 11,341 stitches. So I think I just kept going on the blues down here and a little bit of the blacks as well. Because again, if I don't want to bother looking at patterns, I can just pick this up and work on the black. It's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And again, stitch on an 18 count white Aida. And the next pattern that I started was on the 18th of July of 2020. This is Cinderella, another Chilton Crafts chart based on Daniel Kordak's artwork, inspired by the 2015 movie, the Disney live-action movie that came out that year. So I thought she was really pretty, and that movie really spoke to me a lot. So I decided to go ahead and stitch the chart. And again, 18 count white Aida. Oops, I'm spilling my WIPs over here. Okay. Not too much progress to show on this one as well. I'm currently sitting at 3,100 stitches. I think I may have added 200 stitches as well for a challenge and then put it back down. It's between this one and T because they're both pretty much all blues. So whenever I feel like working on blues, I'll pick one of those up. And for this one, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just work those colors all the way to the side. But I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna stitch this. But it's not that big of a piece. So there's that as well. Okay, next one is another chart by Heaven and Earth Designs. I started this on August 14th of the year 2020, and it's called Mini Mauve Irises. The artwork is by Mary Ann Broom, and I'm working on this with the 25 count easy guide. Oop, this is where we're at so far. I don't think I've added anything to this yet. On my notes I have no change. It's still sitting at 2,100 stitches on this one. So that's all I have. Let me see, can you see it better like this? I'm not sure. I'm trying to work with the lighting here. But yeah, this is where I started or tried experimenting with parking. So I don't know how y'all do it, but I can't deal with all the loose threads. They give me anxiety. So so I think I'm just gonna work on those loose threads, stitch them up, and then probably not do parking on this one. But I like the idea of it. I like how the image comes in when you use parking, but I just can't deal with the loose threads. Even with the little, because I know that there's like little bobbins that you can get where you can wind it up. That may work out, but I'm not sure. The next piece that I started, I went a little bit of time without starting anything. I didn't start this until September 3rd, 2020. I don't have the cover for this, but I'm sure you've seen it. This is the Friends and Family Mystery Sampler Sal from Linen and Threads. So again, it started in January 2020. I didn't start it until September 2020, mostly because I just wanted to make sure that I liked the design well enough to stitch it. And I'm using an 18 count piece of fabric hand dyed by Rolanda. She just does like one-offs. She doesn't necessarily sell like one specific color and just dyes it all over again. She just does individual pieces. So when this came on sale, I wanted to make sure that I got it because I thought it looked really cool. This is the entirety of the piece. So, but this is where all I have. I think I've barely finished 2 parts, if not 3. So the idea is to go ahead and use 3808, which is that teal color for the main color, and do accents in different colors here and there. Like 1 per part. In fact, okay, I think I've only finished 2, because I remember saying that there should only be 1 accent per part. So, there we are. Now we'll see. I like the design and I like the idea, so I may keep with it, but again, this is also kind of like in danger of being UFO'd. The next piece that I have to show you is one that I started on September 10th. This is Consider the Lilies. I'm sure you've all seen it. We love it. It's a heartstring sampler design by Beth Twist. And Laurel Ann was kind enough to gift me the companion piece, His Eye is on the Sparrow, so now I have both. But this one has also been sitting on the sidelines for pretty much since I started it, really. I think I've only added maybe 100 stitches on it. I think this is the top. I don't even know if it's the top, because this is all I have. So I'm stitching this on 18 count vintage country mocha. I thought it would do okay with the colors. And I'm using the DMC conversion, so I'm working with the DMC colors, not the hand-dyed cloths. So yeah, not much progress to show on this one, unfortunately. Hopefully that'll change, especially now that I have the companion piece. I feel like it would be nice to stitch both of them up. And then the next one that I have to show you is one that I'm gonna have to show you on my tablet. So fingers crossed, hope it cooperates. It did okay yesterday. I filmed the WIP parade in Spanish, and it did okay for the most part. It was just being a little sensitive. So the one that I wanted to show you is one of my Hades. It's another one of my Heaven and Earth Designs charts. This is by Amy Stewart, and it's A Stitch in Time. I started this on October 14th of the year 2020, and I am using the 25 count Easy Guide fabric for this one as well, because it's kind of large. I'm stitching the max color version, so it's regular sized but max color. And goes this way. This is where we're at so far. Since the last time I showed it to you, I've added 1,000 stitches, 1,000 stitches per WIP. So I'm currently sitting at 384 stitches. So I added this teal border for that section, and I also, it's kind of hard to tell, but worked on the confetti that is for the down on the snow. There's a lot of like really light pinks and really light blues on that section. So I'm trying to alternate between working on a section that has a lot of confetti and then also working on just like one color, focusing on one color like the blue over here as well. So this is also going to get some love because it's, again, larger pieces. And when I started that one, I decided, okay, well, I started one, might as well start another. And I went a little crazier still. So not only did I decide to go for the max color version, but I went with the supersized max color. And this is, of course, Reader's Paradise by Amy Stewart, charted for Heaven and Earth Designs. I adored that pattern. As soon as it came out, I knew I had to stitch it. It's gorgeous. I love it. It makes me so happy. And I started in the lower left corner, so this is the section I'm currently working on. And it's got that little kitten, the sleepy kitty. It makes me so happy. Can't wait to stitch him. Unfortunately, this hasn't gotten too much work done, as much as it should get done, considering it's a supersized version. I've only added the 800 stitches on this one. And this is where we're at. Let me see if I can work with the lighting a little bit better. Does that work? Anyway, obviously a lot of confetti because it is max colored. So that's also why it's a little bit slow going. So again, I'm trying to alternate between working on this section that's very confetti heavy, because of all the, the books are coming in and such. And then also I'll, if and when I get, tired of the confetti, that's when I work on the staircase. That's a lot of the same colors just coming in. So I mentioned I added 800 stitches. I'm sitting at 9,300 stitches. So obviously need to get a lot of work done on this one. Takes up a lot of fabric. Look at all that fabric. And that was started on the 20th of October 2020. And the 21st of October, I started another one of my Tilton Crafts charts. This one has since been renamed. When I first bought it, it was called Caramel Macchiato. And now I think he added Ariana to the name. Or I don't know if it's been switched completely to Ariana. But it's by, again, Daniel Kordick artwork. And this one, there's been no change since the last time I showed it to you. I started it, I added like 200 stitches to it. And that's it. That's my teeny tiny start. But I do like the design, even though I'm not necessarily a fan of Ariana Grande. I just like the soft features and the colors. So I think I'm gonna keep working on it. But yeah, it's a very puny start. And yeah, that looks like it's about 200 stitches. The next one that I started on the 22nd of October in 2020. This one is one that I found on Zana Cross Stitch as well. I've since found out that she has a lot of stolen designs on her shop, so I don't buy from her anymore. But I had gotten this one and the Disney Villains piece, but I decided, okay, that's it, no more. Anyways, this is her Cinderella chart, and I loved that dress, so I said I have to stitch this, which is ironic because Cinderella is not necessarily my favorite Disney princess, and yet I've got like 5 charts inspired by Cinderella, so go figure. Anyway, I'm also stitching this on the 25 count easy guide or easy grid. I'm not sure what the name is. I think it's easy grid and magic guide, but I could be wrong. So let me see. I do have my notes here to tell me if and when I worked on something. This has no change. It says no change. I'm still sitting at 3,200 stitches. So the way I'm working this piece is I'm just going to finish one color at a time, working my way up. So yeah, nothing too exciting, too exciting to show here. I went a little crazy in 2020. Starting all the things, especially once I established that I was going to participate in No New Starts. I was like, okay, I'll start all the things that I would potentially want to work on in 2021 and start them now so I can work on them. Another pattern that I started in October is a piece by Park Hopper Bart Dunn here on FlossTube. He does a lot of Disney inspired designs, and the one I fell in love with was Tomb Sweet Tomb because I love the Haunted Mansion. So I decided to go ahead and start this on October 25th, 2020. Halloween time, so I thought that'd be good. That'd be proper. And I keep this in my Jack Skellington bag from Stitch and Button, which I thought, again, very fitting. For this one, I'm not sure how I'm going to stitch it. the way he has it charted, he asks you to stitch the border and the Tomb Sweet Tomb part separately. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that. So I haven't actually worked on it. I feel like I have to figure that out first before I keep working on this. But I do want to pick it up again, especially because Halloween time is coming around the corner. And I'm stitching this on the leftover Vintage Country Mocha 18 count fabric that I had from Consider the Lilies. I mean, I didn't cut the fabric, clearly. It's not going to be this large. The finished design is not that large at all. But for whatever reason, I just decided not to do maths, not to measure, and I just decided to stitch on it. Anyways, so that's that. And for the most part, I am following his the call for DMCs. However, he charted it, or he stitched it on a mottled gray fabric. So I did have to switch some colors around because they were way too light for my fabric. So I've been, some of the colors are the same, some are not. And the next piece that I'm going to show you should be somewhere here. Did I skip it? I feel like I skipped it, but I know I stitched on it because it's Halloween time. So I did start this on Halloween. This is Nevermore by Lila Studio. And I'm working on this one using the conversion created by Leanne of Forbidden Fiber Company. She does have a FlossTube channel here as well. Originally, it was just a gift to her. I had the chart and she gifted me the materials. So when she went ahead and did the conversions, it was just like a one-off thing, but since then she has gotten permission to actually sell that conversion. So this is what it looks like, and this is on an 18, I think it's 18 count fabric that she hand dyed herself. So again, I'm pretty sure you can buy the kit and she can give you everything you need, because it's her conversion as well for the threads. So I was very excited to work on this because it was the first time that I get to work on hand dyed floss like this. I usually don't get to work with specialty floss. It's a little bit out of my budget, so I tend to go with the DMZ conversions for things. But she was kind enough to give me the hand dyed floss. So very happy, very excited, and again, it's probably going to come back out soon, considering that it is Halloween time. Halloween time's coming up soon, I should say. Well, for a lot of us, we're already celebrating the Halloween spirit. Okay. So the next one that I wanted to show you is Summer Tree. I started this on November 6th, 2020. This was a gift from one of my viewers here on FlossTube, so thank you very much for the pattern. I think I also got the spring tree. I know that Sarah, Stitching Mommy, has another one of these. Gifted from the same viewer. So I do like this design very much. This is stitched, so the kit came, it was a kit from China. I actually call it Summer Tree, but I don't know what the official name of it is. It did come with an 11 count Aida, so that was a bit much for me, so I just switched it out for a 14 count that I had lying around. So this is what I have so far. No words. Not too much progress to show. I don't think I've worked on it since, but here we go. I think I'll go ahead and start on a second color so that I can at least have some more than just yellow, yellow and black. Oh, it looks like I did forget to show one more. That's very important. So I started this after I started Tomb Sweet Tomb. Goodness, I'm not sure what's going on. But it is another one of my Heaven and Earth Designs charts. And I'm considering picking this up soon. This is come on, Paddock Keeper. There we go. This is Mini Sun and Stars. Another one of my Heaven and Earth Designs charts. And it's, of course, Jason Momoa as Khal Drogo from Game of Thrones. And I chose the mini version. So, yeah, it's gorgeous. I love it. I love looking at it, but it's a lot of the same color. And I feel like that's also why I wasn't willing to go for the full-sized for the full-size version of this. I thought it's gonna be way too much, just like the mini one that I have, right? I haven't picked this up yet this year, which is why I'm considering working on this soon. Yeah, this is all I have so far. So it's really hard to see because it's teeny tiny 25 count, but I have found the outline of his shoulder. So yeah, no, you can't see that at all. You'll have to trust me, I guess, on this one. But yeah, I have 300 stitches on this, and that's it. No change. I started it, and then I just haven't picked it up since. But I do want to work on it. This is one of the finalists when Vic Stitching Button was picking my next focus piece. Now that the mini midnight stroll is going to be finished soon. He was a contender. The next piece that I want to show you is one of my unicorn pieces that I was very excited to get. This is English Garden Sampler from Teresa Wetzler. I started this on November 7th of the year 2020, and I just found this just by chance. One of the cross stitch groups where you can barter. Somebody posted this and said, hey, kind of, I don't want to stitch this anymore. And I said, me please. I think I ended up trading a few like pattern books, and one of them was like a needlepoint pattern book, like how to do certain stitches. And the book was super old, like I had no need for it, I had no use for it. And she said, yeah, sure. I said, okay. I kind of feel like I got the better end of that deal, but sure. Anyway, even though I was very happy to start it, I haven't picked it up either. I still have just those few letters of the alphabet done. So I do want to finish at least the alphabet for this year though. Baby steps, because it is going to be quite a journey on this one. So many specialty stitches, so many. The alphabet is 1/1, which you can kind of tell. It is a 25 count Lugana. And then the rest is stitched 2/2, I think. So, which I don't mind, considering that I'm already working on a lot of pieces that are 25 count 1/1. This one didn't bother me at all. A lot of people are like, oh, 1/1, woe is me. I didn't mind it too much. So yeah, so I am using the 25 count Lugana that came with the kit, and it just came with DMC, so I'll be using that as well. Next up is one of the pieces that I started because it's by the same designer as my Bilbo piece that I finished last year. This is The Little Prince So again, it's by Mandarin's Designs, in case you forgot. And this is what it looks like. This is the finished design. All of the background is done in half stitch. The only thing that's really full stitches is the asteroid and the prince himself. So it should go quick, as it is. No change since the last time I showed it to you. This is where we're at. Yeah, so according to Pattern Keeper, I'm sitting at 2,007 stitches, 70 stitches. And you know, it's still counting the half stitches as a full stitch, right? Because it's a symbol, right? It's going by the symbols that you mark off. So make of that what you will. And then after that, I got excited, and that's on 18 count data, by the way. But I got excited, and then the next day, on November 7th, I started another one of her designs, because I really like them a lot. You know, I worked with Bilbo, and I thought it was a gorgeous pattern, gorgeous design. I actually don't have that anymore. And the reason I don't have the image to show you anymore is because I finished it. So I deleted it off my Pattern Keeper. So here he is. This is Darth Vader. And I started this on November 8th, 2020. And I finished him on February 16th, 2022. So this is going to be a gift for one of my cousins, because both him and his family, they all love Star Wars. So this is going to be a gift for them. I wanted to make sure that I got it done. So I'll put that to the side because I need to frame it. I need to finish it off, because I'll be seeing some of my family members this coming July, end of July. So I'm very excited. Another piece that's going to be a gift for them is the third and last the last pattern that I started from her. She also had an Iron Man design available in her shop. She has since then switched over to a different platform. I think it's called VK. So she's not on Etsy anymore, but I think her designs are still available. You can also reach out to her via Instagram and get her designs that way as well. So this I started on November 8th. And I haven't worked on him quite yet. So I finished up Darth Vader, and then that's when I started focusing on the fairy. So I haven't gotten around to working on him just yet, but that's fine. I figured I can also just make it a Christmas present as well, so this can get some work done in the next 6 months or so. And both are done on 18 count data. So always and forever, 18 count data. The next pattern I have to show you is a full coverage piece that was gifted to me by Tess from Tess Stitches. I believe she started this as well, I'm not sure. Because sometimes we'll each work on it together. And I feel like she gifted it to me so that we could start it together. This is TM Books. Artwork is by Bridget Ashwood. And I started this on November 15th, 2020. And I've seen some people, because I think now there's a no background version available. So I've seen some people that are skipping the background and just stitching the books in the teacup. And I honestly don't blame them. Anyway, this is what I have so far. I'm sitting at 4,500 stitches. So not much change since the last time I showed it to you. It is just one of those pieces. At one point I ran out of one color, so that's also why I had to pause. But I could always do the black. But then again, there's only so much black a girl can do. And so many of her pieces have just solid black colors. Anyway, I did make some changes to this. I wasn't thrilled with the way that it was charted. The shading on the books seemed a little bit off, like it was just too light. At one point she uses 839, which is a dark brown, and I just made it darker. I made it 3371, and then the 830, which was the next lighter shade that she uses, that's what I used 839 from, or for. Because otherwise the contrast, it just went from pitch black to just like this dark brown that's not that dark. So so I just changed it so that I could make me happy, because I wasn't too happy with how it looked. Tess did gift me the fabric for this as well. It's the Easy Guide 18 count Aida. Next up is a piece that I actually have to show you here in my my tablet as well. And this one I think I'm gonna have to show you, yeah, on my drive, because it doesn't work on Pattern Keeper. I started this piece because it's inspired by a show that I watch with my boyfriend. The anime is called One Piece, and this is my favorite character from the anime. This is called Chopper. It's technically Chopper 2 because she has 2 designs on her shop available. The Etsy shop is called Be Cute Today, but as you can see, the copyright is different. It's Red Max, whatever that is. And this one, I'm using it as a travel WIP whenever I go to school, especially because sometimes I would have my shifts at the tutoring center at school, and not that many people came in. So later on in the year, I did use it as study time, but every now and then I will go ahead and just use it as stitching time. So this is what I have so far. This was started on the 26th of December. So the No New Starts Challenge, the No New Starts Challenge went until the 14th of December. So we had the last 2 weeks to start any projects that we wanted to, because once January 1st rolled around, it was no new starts all over again. They were gonna do the challenge again. So I didn't join this year, but I still wanted to go ahead and work on it. So I went all year without, I think I started one maybe, because we were given the freebie. But then I also, I think I started one that was meant to be a gift. So that's why I don't have it. So this is what I have on Chopper. According to Pattern Keeper, you can use it to mark off the stitches, but then if you try looking at the image, it shows up all white. That's why I couldn't show it to you on Pattern Keeper. According to Pattern Keeper, once I marked off all the background stitches, it thinks that I have 70% done on this pattern. That's obviously not true, but it does stitch pretty quickly, because what I'm doing is I'm just doing the outline, right? So I'm trying to do all of the outlines first and then fill in the colors. So that's Chopper, and I'm keeping him on this cherry blossom bag from Stitching Button, because again, Japanese culture, the cherry blossom, it's actually important in his specific storyline, like character development wise. So I thought it was apt. The next pattern I have to show you is one of two patterns that I started at the end of December once we were given the green light, and I blame Jessie Marie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff for this one, because she finished hers and I fell in love with it. I mean, I was already in love with it. I think we all were. So I started my own pattern by Jeremiah Kettner. This is Let's Go for a Swim. I thought this was beautiful, and I loved the colors. I loved the purples and the blues. So I decided to go ahead and start it on December 27th, 2021. So I started it, but then I didn't do much with it, unfortunately. I only added like 300 stitches. So that's where we're at. So again, just a lot of these I started and then I never really picked them back up. So I did make a note of which ones that happened with. So I'll be sure to make some progress with them. Then on January 1st, for the new year, new start, I started a chart that had been on my mind for years. I had been looking at that chart for so long, and I really wanted to start it, but I was very intimidated by it. But I decided to just take the plunge. And this is Medusa by the chart is by Unconventional Cross Stitch. Artwork is by Christopher Lovell, I think is with a V. So she does have a sister chart as well. There's 2 of them now. I think I'll just stick with her for now, because the second one is not, it's still beautiful, but it's not quite my taste. But this is where I'm at so far. Yeah, I think that's right. I'm sitting at 1,300 stitches. So I did enough to tick off the box with the 1,000 stitches per WIP this year. And then every now and then I'll pick it up and add a little bit more. But I do want to get more work on her because it is one of my newer pieces. And I try, whenever I start a piece, I try to make it so that it's a decent start. So 1,300 is a decent-ish start. The last piece that I have to show you is my latest start. I just started this on June 1st, and I can show you the cover image somewhere over here. Did I put this back in? No, it's not here. See, this is what happens when you film twice. You lose track of stuff. Because I know that I filmed it. And I try to keep everything in order. Anyway. This is Cinderella Wishes Upon a Dream. Artwork is by Thomas Kincaid of his Disney Dreams collections. The pattern is by MCG Textiles. So these kits are extremely hard to find now, and when you do find them, they're extremely expensive. So Aussie Stitcher Belinda, Aussie Stitcher here on FlossTube, she was kind enough to let me have this. She said that she wasn't going to stitch this anymore. At one point she was, decided she wasn't, so very grateful she was willing to give that to me. And I did 400 stitches on her. Just a little bit of a start. This is where we're at so far. I did start in the center for this one. I was too scared because I am working on an even weave for this chart. This is where we're at. The kit does come with an 18 count Aida, but based on my experience with Pinocchio and Peter Pan especially, I decided that I didn't want to deal with that anymore. So I switched it out for 36 count even weave from Fabric Flair. And so again, 400 stitches, so I still have to do 600 more stitches to complete the 1,000 stitches per WIP, which should be no problem now. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have. Those are all my WIPs up to date. I do have at least one birthday start planned this year. I'm starting it with Laurel again from Laurel Land here on FlossTube. I'm thinking of maybe one more that's going to be a birthday present for my younger sister. So that one needs to get started sooner rather than later as well. But then I think I'll be okay. I think I'll be okay. In addition to the 2 finishes, the Darth Vader piece and the stacked teacups that I finished this year, I also finished 2 additional pieces. I was asked to stitch 2 separate birth announcement charts, so I took care of those. I stitched those up. One of them has already been gifted away. The other one will, be gifted soon. Again, because when my family comes over in July. So once that gets done, it'll be taken care of. So far 4 finishes this year. Soon to be 5, which is not bad. I do want to continue focusing on progress rather than finishing. But I feel like it'll be good to have one major finish each year. So this year it's the Fairy, Mini Midnight Stroll. I'll also be finishing Sea Glass. And then next year I would like to finish Mini 1, my oldest piece. But yeah, for the remainder of the year will just focus on the pieces that don't have as much work done, because I have some that haven't even reached 5%. So I'd like to get those going before, I am starting a couple of pieces, but I don't want to start too many more. I think I'm sitting at a good place right now in terms of number of WIPs. So thank you very much for joining me. For having so many WIPs that didn't get too much work done. I talked a lot this time around. So thank you for sticking around. If you have any questions about anything that you saw today, feel free to leave a comment. I will, as always, I'll put the information of the WIPs down below. I don't have enough space to put each individual pattern, but that's why I try to give you the name of the piece and the name of the design of the artist, so that if you do feel inspired to get the chart yourself, you have the means to do so. So as always, I hope you have a relaxing weekend, a productive week, and you always find the time to do the thing that makes you happy. Until next time, ciao!